Hey guys, we're here today to do an OU Wi-Fi battle against my good pal Seth. So hopefully you guys do enjoy. If you do, leave a like below and subscribe for more content like this. We're on the road to 1,000, so it would be very much appreciated. And comment your thoughts on the battle and what mon you want to see next. I might use a team built around one of your favorites. So with that said, let's get right into everything. So today we're going to be using a team around Breloom, and I got this team from my good pal Esther. So of course, very much thank you, Esther. I really like the team, to be honest. I've never really used Breloom a lot at all. I can probably count on my fingers how many times I've used it, and I would say it's probably enough for even one hand. I really have not used it much. In fact, one of those games alone on this hand would include today's battle, so it's probably only like 3, maybe 2 other times. So it's been very infrequent, to put into perspective. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how this team does. A lot of other Pokemon, though, I've used all these other Pokemon countless times. It's just really Breloom I've never used, because I always look at other options. So hopefully it ends up being fun. Hopefully Breloom can earn the thumbnail. But first up, we have Clefable with Leftovers Magic Guard. We have Thunderwave, Moonlight, Stealth Rock, and Moonblast. Really just meant to be a good Dragon check. It's great for checking things like Latios, for example. So we're going to utilize it for that. Hopefully my opponent ends up bringing something that's worthwhile checking, because I've seen a lot of teams, shockingly enough, at least on ladder, not running dragons at all, and I couldn't tell you why. I will say, to be fair, it is day 1 meta, or like early meta. It's technically Sunday when I'm recording this, literally right before it goes up. And I mean, it's still very early on, so people are probably still trying to figure out the tier. My ladder rating isn't even high anyway, but no one's really is at this point. So because of that, I mean, that might be why, but still kind of shocked. Next up, we have Scarf Chomp with Outrage, Dragon Claw, Iron Head, and Earthquake. Basically just meant to be a cleaner for this team. It's great to revenge off things like Lottie, which shockingly enough, I have not seen a single Scarf Lottie at all. And even more shockingly enough, every time I see a Lottie Garchomp matchup, they always sack their Lotties, which is very weird. So hopefully Seth knows a bit more than that. I know that Seth is a really good battler, so hopefully it should be a fine time. But in general, this Pokemon should be really good for the team. Next up, we have Life Orb Latios with Surf, Psychic, Draco Meteor, and Roost. Really just meant to deal a lot of damage, to be honest. The attacks really just hit a lot of things well, such as Heatran, Garchomp, other Lotties, etc, etc. So it's just meant to be a really good special dragon. With dragon types in Latios and Garchomp, we should even be able to pressure past fairies, especially with the next Pokemon being our Choice Specs Heatran with Flash Cannon, Earth Power, Fire Blast, and Dragon Pulse. Really just meant to be a fast offensive Heatran. I really like Heatran a lot personally. I think that Specs Heatran is a really good set on it in this gen, because there's not really a lot of good switch-ins besides like Gastrodon and Azumarill, and I guess like even Manaphy should probably take about like 30-40% from incoming on Dragon Pulse, so it can really only switch in at one time. So it does just kind of wear down a lot of things pretty quickly, especially in tandem with the rest of the team. Next up, we have a Nasty Plot Rotom Wash with Volt Switch, Hydro Pump, Nasty Plot, and Discharge. Now, I did end up mentioning in my Rotom video that Rotom can learn Pain Split, and I was corrected actually by someone who ended up pinning in the comments that Rotom cannot learn Pain Split. So sadly, this set had to opt for Nasty Plot, though it is still a fine set on Rotom Wash, to be fair. Should be great for things like Heatran and Gliscor, which are pretty big problems for the team thus far. Less so Heatran, but especially for Gliscor. Heatran's mostly an issue for coming in on my own Heatran if I'm clicking a flyer move and then taking advantage of it. So this Rotom should help a lot with that. With this spread as well, we should be able to creep Scizor, which was a very important note that I made in like all of my Rotom sets, to at least creep Scizor, and I do think it's a really worthwhile creep on this still. Finally on the team, we have Breloom, the star of the show, with Toxic Orb, we have Spore, Mach Punch, Seed Bomb, and Facade, with 236 HP, which is the Poison Kill number. Now, to be fair, this is for level 100, so I did not actually adjust this for level 50, which I should have, so that is on me. The Fizz Def, though, is just to be max Fizz Def, and then 20 speed is just left over. With this set, I decided to throw on Seed Bomb. Now, Esther initially had Stun Spore, but I changed it because I was fighting so many Gastrodons, and to put in perspective how many Gastrodons I fought, it was probably on at least half the teams I played against, and it was the only Pokemon to show up more than 5 times in my 10 games that I played. And it probably showed up about 7 or 8 times, which kind of astounds me. Now, maybe this is just a low ladder trend, but I found more Gastrodons than I found Latioses and Garchomps combined, which was astonishing. Couldn't tell you why, but that's why I threw on Seed Bomb. So hopefully it comes into play against Seth's team. I genuinely couldn't tell you if it will or won't. But with that said, let's get right to the battle. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and peace out. And we are here with the battle portion of our battle with this Breloom team. And funny enough, Seth actually brings his own Breloom team. So it's a battle of the Brelooms, gamers. With this said though, he has Breloom, Latios, Gliscor, Alakazam, Azu, and Starmie. So the water types are actually a bit tricky for my team. I don't have the best switch-ins, especially that Azu Sap Sipper, actually. That could be terrifying. My Rotom is a really good lead here, actually, though. Really, the only bad leads for it would be the Lottie and the Zam. I kind of want to lead off with Heatran for similar logic, however, that's a bit riskier. So I think I am just going to bite the bullet and lead off with Rotom. Because leading off with Rotom, I think, just opens up the most opportunities for me. I think that if I can take out the Gliscor early on, I can get a lot of damage in with Garchomp for the late game. So yeah, good luck and fun to my opponent. I'm assuming that, wow, he must have like a suicide lead or something. Kind of curious to see what he has. So he leads off with Alakazam. Okay, makes sense, makes sense. Not a good lead for us, but I wouldn't call it a bad one necessarily either. So what I'm going to do here, I think I'm going to Volt Switch. I really do want to see what this is going to go for. And if it tries to set up, I can break the Sash, and then I can just go into Garchomp because we know it's a Scarfer. If it attacks, I'll probably go into Heatran. But if it doesn't, I'm going to go into Garchomp. And that's pretty much my way of deciding this. So he goes for Psyshock here. So what I think I'll do, ooh, that actually didn't do that much. I wonder if it'd be Sash, or maybe even like a Scarf or leftover set. I feel like it's probably Sash, because he let it. But to be fair, it's Magic Guard Zam, so he probably doesn't need to. I think I'm still going to go into Garchomp, to be honest. I think that that's probably my best case. And then I can just go for an Iron Hit here. Kind of wish I had Poison Jab, now that I'm thinking out loud. Because Poison Jab could have been really nice for the Azumarill. However, it's not the end of the world. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to click Dragon Claw this turn. I'll let the... no. I'm going to click Earthquake. I'd rather like Gliscor in all honesty, because I have Rotom, which is a phenomenal switch into that. Then Azu, though, is kind of annoying, especially if that's a Belly Drum Azumarill. That could be terrifying. So he goes into Gliscor. Okay, very good play by Seth, of course. So we're going to see this thing get its Toxic Orb off. To be fair, we probably were not going to do much damage to it anyway, so I don't mind this entirely. What we're going to do here, we're going to go into... I think we're going to go into... I'm going to go into Rotom here. I think that that's the best play, because ideally this is a really slow Gliscor. That would be great. If it's really slow Gliscor, we should actually outpace it, like no speed. Which, to be fair, maybe Seth is running no speed. I don't know how much like Seth invests in his Pokemon, or like how much he keeps up with like metagame sets. So he's going with Stealth Rocks is perfectly fine. I don't actually mind Stealth Rocks. My team isn't really weak to it at all, especially the fact that I have a Poison Heal Gliscor. So I'll take that. So what this opens up for me actually is the fact that I get a free Hydro Pump here. Because even if the Breloom comes in, I'm perfectly fine to just switch out on that. I do have a pretty decent switch in Clefable. If it's Toxic Orb, then I might even just go hard to Garchomp. But I'm going to go for Pump here. Realistically, Pump should just do a lot of damage. No matter what comes out, I'm fine. So Latios comes out, actually. Okay, this is perfectly fine. I don't mind this at all. We can figure out its item as well, based on damage that Clefable will take. And because we're Magic Guard, we should be pretty safe to switch in. So this actually took a good amount. I'm almost curious if it's a crit, but it doesn't look like it's a critical hit. And this is Leftovers. Okay. So Leftovers Lottie, that's actually not a big deal for us. What I can do around Leftovers Lottie, but I don't want to stay in. I think I kind of have to go hard into Clefable here. But because it's Leftovers, we should be able to actually beat it 1v1. If it's Calm Mind, it's a different story, but even still, I can Butter Wave it at the very least. And then I just neuter it for the whole rest of the game. So either way, I'm really not in a bad position with this. So Seth's going to withdraw here. Perfectly reasonable. He's going to go into Alakazam. Okay. I think I might just stay in with Clef, to be honest. I can go for a Thunder Wave. That should open up beating out this Zam a lot easier. I don't need to rely on just Garchomp for it. So I think that might still be the play. It can set up for Heatran at the very least, and if my opponent overpredicts, then that's fine too. So I'm going to click Thunder Wave here, and we'll see what Seth wants to do. My guess is, as I said, I think he's just going to stay in and click Psychic, or Psyshock. I forget which he had. I think he had Psyshock, but he could be dual Psychic move, to be fair, depending on his spread. Regardless, so I do think that Thunder Wave is my best play. My guess is we have Azusarmi, Zam, Lottie, Breloom, and Gliscor. Okay, so he doesn't actually really have a good switch into this at all. That did way too much damage. Holy shit, that was a crit. Okay, that's why. That explains it. So, because of the fact that was crit damage, I can definitely heal up on this. My guess is that this is Sash. I really can't see that being life orb damage for a crit. I think crit would have probably done at least 75-80%. And we're nearly back at the half mark after Leftovers. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click Moonlight here. My guess is that Seth is going to double here, which is fine. However, to be fair, I will say he does not have a good switch into this as previously established. So he might just stay in. So Seth goes for Psyshock here. It's perfectly fine. We should still take that. Beautiful. Yep, we're going to take that. So because of the Moonlight and the leftovers, we should actually be able to just barely hang on for a crit if I'm counting correctly. Because we should be at around 122, and I believe a crit did 121 to us if I remember correctly. We're at 123, so even healthier. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to Moonlight up a couple more times. Because I want to see if I can Moonlight and then fish for para. And I know it's kind of hacksy, but I think realistically it's a good play for sure. So see, we got the para right there. Because now I get up 3 Stealth Rocks, and if he gets parried again, I just start firing off Moonblasts. So I know it's a bit cheese, but it's still a viable strategy. And ideally, again, I didn't go for the Thunderwave specifically to fish for para. I went for the Thunderwave so that when Heatran had a cleaner end game, because Heatran's kind of the focal point of the team. It's Specs Heatran. So obviously I'm going to go for that. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to click Moonlight again, and if he gets full parried, I'll just go for Moonblast here. As I said, he doesn't really have good switches to this Pokemon, so there's no reason to not try and preserve a win con. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm a bit sorry, Seth. I know it's not, as I said, I know it's not the most entertaining way to go about it, but it's a very safe one, especially for a team that does not have a Dark type. So that's kind of what I need to do. So hopefully you forgive me. Yeah, so I'm gonna hope that okay, so he switches. Okay, even better. I can go for a Moonblast here pretty freely, because whatever Pokemon he goes into, okay, Breloom comes in, perfect. I don't actually mind Breloom coming in. If Breloom is Spore, then that's fine too. I don't mind actually being Spored, to be honest. In fact, I could even just go to my own Breloom on this. My own Breloom actually could probably beat this one if we won, because we don't see a Toxic Orb here. So yeah, I'm just gonna go to my own Breloom, because my own Breloom should do a lot, though. But what I actually... No, what I think I am going to actually go to my own Breloom, because my prediction is this only came into Spore. I really can't see another reason this would come in on Clefable, unless it was a sack. But even still, it's in now, so I don't know why he wouldn't click Spore. So we're just going to try and take advantage of that. If he goes for Sword Stance, well played, of course. I think that's a really good play by Seth. But we do dodge. So at this point, Breloom can start doing Breloom things. This is a Pokemon I never actually really used ever. I've used it very infrequently on past gen ladders. Like Gen 6 when I played it, I think I used like a Breloom team or 2 ever. I think I used one maybe once in Ultra Sun and Moon or Sun and Moon OU. This is not a Pokemon I've even used a lot. And it's really weird because I think it's a really cool Pokemon actually, and I really do want to try it. So hopefully I can actually try it at some point soon. It looks really fun. I just always put it off. So we're going to see Breloom pop off here. And this Facade does a lot of damage. Holy shit. The best part is too is because we're Fizzed Up Breloom, we're actually super good at chewing hits from this opposing Breloom. So what I think I'm going to do, let's see, this is 140, Mach Punch is 60. I think Mach Punch could probably take the Test Breloom out, so I'm going to go for Mach Punch here. I think realistically that's probably my best play, because then I can potentially avoid my opponent going for it. So Seth's going to double into Zam here. Okay, that's fine. So I'm trying to think, do we actually outpace the Zam? The Zam should hit about 190. So if we hit 95 speed, we should at a 96 speed should be what we need to outpace it. And I'm kind of curious. So summary, what's our speed stat on this? So we hit 93. So we don't outpace this actually. We just barely do not outpace this. So I'm actually gonna go out hard into Heatran here, and I think I'm gonna claim my Specs Dragon Pulse. I think Specs Dragon Pulse is probably my safest play because it can handle the Lottie coming in potentially, or the Starmie as well. It's probably my best neutral option for that. So I think that's what I'm going to click. I think I'm just going to click Dragon Pulse. There's no real reason to click anything else in my opinion. Side Shot goes off. Okay, we perfectly took that. And this is another reason I want to T-Wave the Zam, because now making this double, I'm not actually risking a Focus Blast. So as I said, there was a clean intention to it. However, I'm not going to act like I'm not going to take advantage of my Thunder Wave being power hacks because it's in the game. So, as I said, it was a clean intention, but I'm going to take advantage of it for naughty purposes. So Seth's going to withdraw here. He's probably bringing in the Starmie or the Azu. If he goes Azu, well played. He goes into Gliscor. Oh. I mean, Gliscor is really good too, to be fair, but it should, between the rocks and the Dragon Pulse, actually take a good amount of damage. So, we're definitely going to take advantage of that for sure. We actually got a good hit off, but it's definitely not going to be enough because we definitely cannot stay in with this. So what I kind of have to do, I kind of have to go hard into Rotom here. Seth has Facade, really good play by Seth bringing this in, and then if he makes that play, assuming, clicking Facade, which he does have kind of the free turn here, to be fair. I feel like Lottie or Rotom are both pretty telegraphed switch-ins. Same as Breloom even is kind of telegraphed, so whatever one of those he predicts, if he goes for Facade, He just goes for knockoff, actually. That's really good, too, for Seth, to be honest. Neutering my recovery on motive is huge, because the spawn also does a lot to Seth's team. So, it's perfectly fine. I think what I'm going to do here, I think I'm going to go for a... kind of want to be a bit aggressive here. So Seth will not kill us, I feel like. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to go for Discharge, actually. And I'm going to see if I can catch, like, an Azumarill or a Starmie here. Or even just get a pair. This also is guaranteed hit, so he goes into Zam and sacks that. That's perfectly fine, actually. That makes a lot of sense, to be fair. So we should guarantee outpace this, though. So even at this point, I think what I'm going to do, I might actually take advantage of that and go for Volt Switch. Because that should hopefully help me... that should hopefully allow me to not be as much of a fodder Pokemon versus Latios. So what I think I'm going to do here, after drawing... I believe that's First Blood. I'm almost certain that's First Blood. Yeah, it's First Blood. Okay. So what I think I'm going to do here, I think I'm going to actually bring in... I think I'm going to bring in my own Lottie here. And I'm going to try and see if I can draw out Seth's, because I know for a fact I should take his on with my Clefable, because of the fact that he is leftovers. I should have no issue doing so, because we're Magic Guard, and we don't have to fear rocks. So if it goes for Calm Mind, that's fine. It's only going to do around 70-ish%. So he goes into Lottie here. Not into Lottie, into Starmie. Starmie is actually kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie. This might be a Pokemon I ultimately need to sack my Lottie to, because my switches to this Pokemon are actually pretty terrible. So what I think I'm gonna do here, I think I'm gonna click Draco, and if we die, we die. If we live, we live. But I really can't mess around with Starmie. It actually terrifies my team. So Seth goes for Ice Beam here, and that doesn't kill. Oh, thank God. Okay. And he dodges shit. Okay, that really sucks. I mean, to be fair, I definitely got my Clef a lot healthier than it would have been otherwise because of a lot of para. So, I mean, I guess it's evening out. I don't know, like, how much it like, the specific mattering, I guess, of the odds. But it's something, at least, for Seth, which is kind of fair. So, it is what it is. Definitely a bit unfortunate, though. So, let's see. So, Breloom was really fat. I'm curious about the spit-out comparisons for Breloom and Lottie. So, let's see. 131 and 155. 80, 165. I don't know if we take that. I really don't know if we take that. Also, we're kind of weak to Psychic if he goes for that. If he has it. I think I'm going to go into Clef. I kind of have to go for the... Clef, yeah. Okay, so we're going to go into Clef. And we're going to hope this thing doesn't have Recover. If it doesn't have Recover, I might be good. I'm kind of curious on this moveset. But, this is a Pokemon that really terrifies me. We're just going to click Moonblast. Realistically, no matter what he goes into, Moonblast is really obnoxiously free against that team. And it's going to kind of just claim something, whether it's Lottie, even Gliscor should take a good chunk, but to be honest. So Rocks are going to go off here. It's perfectly fine. I think I'm just going to click Moonblast constantly until either we crit or something. Ooh, never mind. That does nothing. Okay. So maybe we're not as free as we thought. So, let me think. What can I go into here? So, we don't actually... I wonder how we break this. So my guess is that Seth kind of has to go for, Oh, you know what? Seth probably doesn't have a way to touch Breloom. I'm curious how much Breloom can actually do. We're gonna go into Breloom. What the heck? I think that Breloom is probably my best out at this point. He also doesn't really have a good switch into this anymore. Or ever, to be honest, because even Starmie should take a lot of damage. His moveset so far is Stealth Rock and Knockoff. So my guess is his Earthquake and Roost the last two, which would be really good for us, actually. So yeah, he shows Roost here. And I can't imagine he doesn't have Earthquake on the spread, which means that Breloom should wall it. Really, really well, actually, mind you. Which does mean that he's probably going to have to sack something. So what I think that my plan here is I think I'm going to click Facade. Because if I click Facade here, that should be a catch-all to start me as well as Latios. And I think those are the biggest threats right now to my team. Azu, I can Seed Bomb if it comes in. It's not a big deal. Gliscor's in front of me. And there's one other Pokemon I'm spacing on. But regardless, though, this should be really good. So Breloom comes in. Okay, so Breloom's getting sacked. Right, okay. That's a fair play. That's a really good play, actually, by Seth. Because now he gets in his Psychic type for free. And I'm kind of screwed a bit. Not, like, entirely, but this does definitely put me in a really back foot position, for sure. I think I kind of have to sack Keytrain at this point, but it is what it is. I really don't actually mind that too much. So, I'm going to sack Keytrain. Starmie coming in is going to be a pain. However, to be fair... it's not the end of the world, it's just not pretty either. So I think I'm gonna sack Heatran at this point. Actually, I'm gonna sack Rotom. Because Heatran... Do I really need... Yeah, no, Heatran could probably still pressure on the Gliscor, to be fair. Because my guess is that Gliscor is probably not going to run a lot of speed. Maybe he has a lot of speed on his, but at the very least, I could probably click a Specs Flash Cannon and do a good chunk of damage as long as Starmie is taken out, which I think I can manage, but I'm not going to really take on Starmie hits anyway. This is probably the only hit I will take ever, and even still, I almost didn't, so I think I should alone put into perspective. Like, if he could Hydro Pump here, I was guaranteed dying, as long as he hit. So, I think I'm just going to click Discharge. If he stays in, great. If he stays in sacks, great. But he clicks Thunderbolt, so yeah, there was no way this one was ever taking on Starmie. So, I don't really feel bad about this play. What I think I'm going to do now, though... So, I can't really go into Guard Drop just yet. I need some more chip on this in Gliscor. What I can do instead is I can go into Clefable here. Clefable should be able to put a lot of pressure on this team right now. So, I think I'm going to go into Clefable, and then on Gliscor, again, I can just... what I think I might do... I think I'm going to click Moonblast. I think I'm going to stay in a couple turns and try and hopefully condition a double. So that way I can maybe get a T-Wave off with Clef. Because what I want to see if I can have happen is if I can position something... I can make him think that I'm going to do a double, and then I'm not. And then I can bring in Breloom safer. So I think I'm going to go for a little bit of passive turns with Clef. As we see here, it's perfectly fine. I don't mind. The damage is going to be Earthquake, and it's probably going to be very minimal. So I'm actually just going to stay in and click Moonblast. Luckily, this doesn't seem to have Taunt, and even if it does, it has, like, no damage for Heatran. So, the second he reveals that fourth move, I should be able to know if I can bring in Heatran or not on this. So, I'm pretty content with that, if nothing else. I couldn't really preserve Rotom for this either, because at best I had one turn, and I think that Breloom is still a safer preserve anyway. Because Knockoff could have maybe gotten me anyway, if it's faster. So we see the Knockoff there. Very good play, of course, trying to get rid of leftovers, which should hopefully help Seth, if nothing else. So, I think that might have been... Yeah, I think it might have been a crit. But to be fair, Seth lives another one. He was forced to roost his turn either way. So, well, he was forced to roost next turn, actually, either way. This turn doesn't really matter, to be fair, but he can roost either way. Okay. So I think I'm going to do here... I think I'm going to click Moonblast one more time, and then I'm going to go into Breloom and force a Facade. So, yeah, because I want to see if I can force a Roost turn. Because if I can force a Roost turn, then I should be able to get Breloom in pretty safely. And even if he does double on a Roost turn, if nothing else, Clefable can position well around that, because I might be able to take it out. So, he's going to go for Earthquake here, and that doesn't really do damage. Battle will end in 3 minutes, good to know. Okay. So... At this point, I do kind of have to double into Breloom here, and I just need to start going for differential. I want to try and get my win any way I can. So I know it might be a bit aggressive, but it is kind of what I need to do, and I can do that so much easier with Breloom than Seth can. If he makes a double into Lottie or Starmie here, I think he pretty much has the game, but it has to be this turn. Otherwise, I think I claim the diff and I can make the win happen. He withdrew. Fuck, I think that might be game. If he goes into Starmie here, he goes into Azu. Okay, I think I can make this work. I think I can make this work. It really just depends. Okay. So, question. I need to calc this out. Breloom. Okay. So, level 50. 20. Let's see. Okay. So, we're at 255 and then 2. Okay. So, we're bold. I know we're impish. Versus Zoomeril. Okay. And then we have Facade and Seed Bomb. So Seed Bomb actually could potentially take this out. It really just depends on like damage rolls, but we could maybe do it. Also depends on how offensive this is. And it's faster. Oh, we dodged. That really sucks for Seth. I'm really sorry. That's a huge decider, actually. What the fuck? I feel bad. I like genuinely feel bad. Because that is going to decide the game for Seth. I feel bad about that. Seth, I am sorry, because this is going to be the thing that decides your loss. Because I can double around your psychics for like one more turn, maybe two. So that I do actually feel bad about that one, because that kind of does determine how this game goes. I guess while I'm calcing, I'll calc Ice Beam. I actually do live that hit if it's leftovers, guaranteed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click Seed Bomb here, and I'm just going to start claiming diff. If Breloom dies, so be it. I think it's kind of justified, to be fair, after dodging the playoff. So yeah, it is what it is. Seed Bomb goes off. Yeah, I am sorry to Seth. I think that Seth probably should have won this game off the timer. because I couldn't really break Azu if he did land that player off, and the fact that he outpaced really kind of set the tone for how I should have won, how I should have lost. But I mean, at the very least, I'm not one of those people that's trying to act like it didn't matter, because it 100% mattered. There's zero denying that it mattered. So at the very least, I will give Seth the Breloom kill. I mean, I think that's the absolute least I could do. I am going to go out swinging though, but I am going to give him the Breloom kill, if nothing else. That's at the very bare minimum what I could do. But I'm going to go for the Mach Punch. It also kind of helps me with timer a bit, because now it means that he'll only have one more turn guaranteed. Oh. Damn, I really wish I clicked Facade there. If I did, I think I won. Well, I think I won with more diff, but it is what it is. I don't even know if this killed. He could have been really bulky. Oh, timer ran out anyway. Okay, so it really didn't even change anything. Very good game to Seth, though. I am very sorry about the hacks. Hopefully we get a cleaner game in soon, because I do love playing you, Seth. You're one of my best friends in this community. So if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like below. If you want some very entertaining content with a much more ASMR sort of vibe, check out Seth down below. He's easily my favorite ASMR YouTuber, as I tell him. Very, very fun guy. He's been growing pretty quickly as well over the past, like, year and a half. So make sure you hop on while he's still a hot topic. And, what's the word? I'm trying to think. Like hipster. While you're still, able to say, I knew Seth when. So make sure you sub and check him out. With that said, I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Until then, peace out, guys.